What's up, everybody? Welcome to this episode of Bullets, Barbells, and Barbecue. I'm your host, Brett. Chris is not here.
Loser.
We got Matt Deuce is here, which he hasn't shit his pants for a while, so.
A little close call leaving the gym yesterday.
Oh, yeah. We have Tanner the Head.
That's it.
That's it.
Our show partners, Elite Nutrition, Omaha. Check them out.
Disappointment.
So at the Ed Cohen Classic, okay, some guy, I can't remember who it was. It was talked to so many people that day. He's like, oh, hey, he walks up to me. He's like, hey, let me see your hat. And he goes, puts it on. He's like, wow, you do have a big fucking head. He's like, I haven't met anyone with a head bigger than mine. I'm like,
oh, is that the guy? He comes to the gym, really short hair.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, is that who it was?
Yeah.
I talked to so many people. I can't remember. I just remember I just got roasted.
It was like 4 people that talked to him the whole day.
That's a lot for Tanner, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone loves me. I'm the gym greeter.
He ran out of fingers.
I was hired. Your wife hired me as a gym greeter.
Yeah, it was like a sympathy vote.
No, she was all
That's
in.
how most greeters get hired.
Yeah.
Well, we can't fire him.
Yeah. How stupid are you?
Stupid.
You can do it. Well, sir, we decided you're too dumb for every other job in this place, so here you go.
I'm handy to have around.
Anyway, our show partners, Elite Nutrition Omaha. Check them out at elitenutritionomaha.com. Use code B3 at checkout for 10% off. Go to the store and yell B3.
Get a free shaker.
How many people use it on your website?
A handful. Yeah, they use it. But most people, I think, come in. So most people come in the store. And we have a lot of people who come in and mention the podcast, people that I have never even...
So do you give them the 10% discount in the store if they yell
Absolutely.
B3?
Yeah.
Well, look at that.
They've got to yell it.
Everyone who comes to Omaha Barbell gets a discount. I have an Omaha Barbell discount.
Well,
Do
it
they
is
have to
the...
wear like a T-shirt, or what's the qualification?
They
They have it on their keychain.
They kind of usually slip it in like, hey, I go to Omaha Barbell too.
Yeah, I go to Barbell
I was like,
too.
I know, I'm the greeter. I know you.
It is.
I've seen you before.
It is the real
Haven't seen me.
Midwest Mecca.
It is.
People have tried to imitate.
Nope.
Everyone that I've sent over here, and I've sent a ton of people over here, and they all love it. And it cracks me up because I think they're all kind of taken aback that it is a bunch of big dudes and women, like strong women lifting weights, like people, but everyone here is like different than when you go to like a Globo gym.
Yeah.
Like my wife joked, she was like, I feel completely safe there because you guys are just checking each other out.
I've always said any sexual assault claim would be male on male.
100%.
So she's like, yeah, I just got to do my thing. Like, it's true though. Like, no one's like, the only time anyone's checking was, oh shit, guy's got some weight on the squat bar over there. Let's take a look at this.
Yeah, there's so many male on male homoerotic things said in here.
So many. So many.
It used to be worse. I think it's tamed down some.
Yeah.
We can step it back up.
Yeah.
I think it's at a good level right now.
Aaron jokes like if we'll go out and stuff, like how well I can pick up dudes. Like guy just comes like, dude, what do you weigh? What you bench, man? How much you eat? I'm like, leave me the fuck alone. Like,
You're a liar. You're like, well, I weigh.
well, you know,
I've been in a cut phase.
been slimming down.
I
But,
told Matt a long time ago, if any of my friends were going to tell me they were gay, it would be Matt. It would surprise me.
dudes
And
love
it's fine.
me. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, if he wants to identify that way. And speaking of
If I
that,
identify that way, do I have to act that way, or can I just get some of the perks?
Like free drinks.
like part of the, like part of the Facebook group.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
a member. You can be a top fan. I got top fan of a page the other day.
Oh.
That sounds a little bit different, like
Yeah.
on a gay website, I think.
Bottom fan?
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know how many it took because I'm not a huge like Facebook, and I was on Core Physical Therapy site. I think I liked their post for their podcast, and I was a top fan. So I don't know if that's good for me or bad for them. I don't know because I don't really do a lot on there. I think I probably liked 3 of their posts, and I'm a top fan.
I think.
Or is everyone a top fan and you just feel included?
Yeah.
I think what they do is if you like something, like they give you that so then you continue to do it
Yeah,
because
so you're like, "Oh, I
we're
wanna stay a
so
top
fucking
fan."
easily manipulated that like a smiley face or a fucking little, was it a diamond for a top fan or
I
something?
think it's a diamond, yeah.
Yeah, that little thing like triggers something in your brain like, oh, I'm a top fan. Like I'm going to go like all their shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to stay on top.
There you go.
Matt wants to be on bottom.
I don't think so.
Bottom fan.
But yeah, we're gonna
It
talk
sounds
about
like less work, but I don't.
So anyway, we're gonna talk about
Sorry.
we're gonna talk about identity
Yeah, Matt's.
and people, and because you see it a lot you do see it a lot in the strength community. I've seen a lot of other communities, and I mean, even I think we kind of talked to Ed about it a little bit, like when he decided to be done. Do you feel like you're going to lose your identity of who you are?
I think Ed is a rare exception.
Super rare.
I think he is a rare exception.
Well, and you have those. I think if you've been at the top of the game, like I still follow like Dorian Yates. You know, was 6-time Mr. Olympia, whatever. I mean, he's always going to be the shadow. You know what I mean? Dorian Yates. So like Ronnie Coleman is always going to be.
Yeah.
The king.
Yeah. But I'm sure that would be hard. Like we've talked about it before. You see comedians who are like Chris Farley struggled with that because he was overweight and he was always afraid if he lost weight, what was it going to do to his career?
Yeah.
And I know people too that are, could lose some weight, but I think that they might not say it but in the back of their mind, it's like, is it going to change what people think about me?
Well, I think Adele lost a bunch of weight and people were like all over her ass.
Yeah.
And then who
Like
was
literally or physically?
I think those two words mean the same thing. I think you're saying literally or theoretically or
Figuratively.
metaphorically.
No,
Figuratively.
no, I meant literally or physically.
Yes.
Yeah, that's how I identify.
Okay.
As a scholar.
And then who was there's another comedian, Pineapple Express guy.
Oh yeah, yeah, from Superbad too.
Yeah.
Jonah Hill.
Jonah Hill. Yeah.
Like he lost weight and people didn't find him as funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was not Drew Carey. Same thing when he lost weight and
Yeah.
he was doing The Price is Right. Because remember, I think he was doing The Price is Right. And then his thing too was when he got rid of his glasses.
Yep.
He had LASIK and now I think he went back to wearing
Like glasses
fake,
with just
fake
Yeah.
glasses. So I don't know, you guys. I mean, I was kind of talking about it with somebody the other day, and I don't know what your guys' thoughts on it. I mean, I think I haven't ever been in that position where I'm just like identified by a trait. I guess I don't know. I mean, like something I can control. Like having red hair, I can't really control that. You know what I mean? Like that redheaded guy, but I can't control that. So I don't know.
Well, what if
I don't know the psychology of it, but I definitely know that people probably do, even if they don't think they do. I think they struggle with it.
Well, okay, you're a big guy. I try to be, but I'm not the smallest one usually. But like if let's just say you lost like 70 pounds, I think you would feel like,
It'd be different. Like,
yeah, I think you would, I don't know. I think there's something like I've been trying to put on size. I feel better when I'm bigger.
Yeah.
Like you have a presence, kind of.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But now, what do you think about the people who are like bigger people, like maybe overweight people?
I think some of it goes to like there's this person that like you want to be, right? So we all have like this. If you could jot down the attributes, like if you were to go and like poll the people around, like how would you want people to describe you? So I'm like, hey, how would you describe Tanner, right? I'm sure we all like, whether we've thought about it or like meant like you have this construction of yourself, how you want people to view you and describe you, and that's probably like your ideal. Then you have kind of how you really are, and then there's how people like really perceive you. And so I think there's these three different.
Well, I think there's 4. I'll throw a 4th because I think there's also the skewed vision you have of yourself, because you see it like a lot with like body dysmorphia, like what you want people to see, what they actually see, what you want them to see, and what you think of yourself.
Fair.
You know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
I think, and we always talk about it like with a lot of women have like, guys do too with side, but like body dysmorphia where they'll look great, but they'll still be like, I need to lose more weight, or I'm this, or I'm that. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and but like balancing those three is tough because it's easy to just like you've kind of like molded yourself, and people should evolve, like as you go through different stages of life. Like if we were to look back at ourselves in like our 20s, even our 30s, like in the late 30s and stuff, like there's this evolution of how we change, and so like being true to that, and like the better you can align like your actual view with what you want to be. Like I think that's where your like self-confidence comes in, and like you can really be that best version of yourself, because you're not lying to yourself and being like, oh, I'm this and I'm this. I'm like, no, you're not. Like everyone knows that you're not. But if you want to be like, cool, take those steps, take those actions. Or if it's one of those things that's like out of line, then be real and understand like, nah, that's not, I'm not willing to put in that work to do that.
Well, I think that some people, like I think your family, and we've talked about this before, I think your family who's grown up with you and known you since you were born, right, views you in a certain way. Like people like at your job may view you as a certain way. I think people have
Different views, yeah.
Yeah, like they see different things.
Yep.
And I think it depends on the like kind of job, like your professionalism of a job, like the level. Like Matt, in being in meetings, probably has a little bit more professionalism than I have to have with people in here.
Definitely more than I have to have with people in my store.
Yeah,
But it's been interesting, like having been in a professional career the last, I don't know what we're sitting at, 18, 19 years, like having a strong physical presence has changed the dynamic of meetings, even though there is little to no chance that I'm going to pick up a chair and start beating someone with it.
You could.
Like, yeah, the fact that
they know that you could and
that
they
I
can't.
could, yeah. And like, if I want to beat up this room of people, I'm beating up this room of people. Like, there's like virtually no chance that it happens, but cause there's been people I've been in meetings with who we're coming from the same company and we're like pitching the same thing. They say something and it's kind of like, well, okay. And they're like significantly smarter than I am and they understand it way better. But then if I say something, it comes across differently. Like I could just say the same thing that they did, but like you have this physical presence that's like, oh, okay.
There's definitely something to that.
100%.
Well, and you talk about like as you go in your career, or as you grow, you change and whatnot. But I think you look at like, because you're in more of that company you started working for now, they're like a newer company.
Yeah.
So it's probably more chill.
Yep.
And like, it's like when I first started working at 24 Hour Fitness, like it was pretty fucking chill. And even the guys told me that were there before me. But the more corporate it gets, the less fun it gets.
Yep.
Yeah. It changes. But I think
It almost changes in the reverse way, whereas like a lot of times the more longer you're in a business, you get more chill, like as the employee, but the business itself.
But like, I think if I couldn't lift, like I couldn't go, because I haven't missed more than a week of working out in 20 years.
A week at a time or a week total?
A week at a time.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say if you're on
It's
vacation
rough.
or whatever.
Yeah, but even when I'm on vacation, I usually try and get 2 or 3 workouts.
Oh, I try to do 0 when I'm gone.
No, I always try and get some workouts in. Like I think if I couldn't work out, and there are times where you come in here and like your workout's probably not as
Yeah, but
aggressive
you did
as
something.
Yeah.
But it's also because you made the choice to not put in that effort. It wasn't that you wanted to and you couldn't.
Right. But it's not every day is 100%. But like if I couldn't go to the gym, oh man, I don't think people would like me at all. I mean, I think I'm already
Already, yes.
It's already slim pickings for that line anyway.
Right. I mean, that's gonna go from like 4 to people to 0.
And I guess the hard part is with someone like that, like someone that's overweight. How do you convince them? You know what I mean? Like, hey, like you need to be healthier. But don't worry, people aren't gonna not like you. Do you know what I mean? Because like,
Yeah.
Because like when you're doing like 75 hard, or somebody's doing a nutrition plan and they're really on it. Like, I get it. Like nobody, like their friends a lot of times are like, we're gonna go eat, and you.
Yeah. Well,
Dude.
you gotta cut stuff out. Like there were people when I did 75 hard, like I just didn't hang out with some of the people that we normally would because like our main tie was drinking.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, I'm not doing that right now. Like I'll still hang out. Like I'm fine doing that, but like it was a different dynamic and it kind of just illustrates that that's what we have in common and that's fine. Like there's definitely friends that are like just drinking friends and that's fine.
It's way easier to hit your goals when you're a loser.
Oh yeah.
But do you feel like those friends aren't real friends then? Because
Yeah, I would say like we'll call them acquaintances. Like they're
Because like you said, like your real friends are like your family.
Yeah.
Like we still hung out, and then that one day you thought I was trying to get you to drink that syrup that day.
I was really suspicious. And then I was like, no, he's not going to do that.
But yeah, like I can hang out. Like it doesn't bother me. Like if somebody doesn't want to do something,
Yeah.
I don't care.
But if
Like
you do stuff like that, if you find like what you want to do, like find people who have those same goals aligned. Like I've found that I've cut a lot of people out of what I would call like my friend circle. Like that over the last probably 10 years ish went from being like a pretty sizable circle down to like 5. It's just because I'm like I want people who, and I don't know if this is on topic or not, but like generally the people that I want to hang out with are the people who I feel like I get something from being like, I am the not lowest achiever, but like I am constantly getting something from them, whether it's like on a reality check, inspiration for something, motivation for something, encouragement, something. But like you find those people that are aligned in that same kind of goal, whatever it is. And like if you surround yourself with people like that, it's hard to not get better and like make that progress if it's something you want to do. Like if I didn't want to lift and I didn't want to constantly get better, hanging around you guys would be miserable, because that's something that's strong. It's a strong drive for you guys, and you want to get better. You want to continue to progress. And if I don't want to, and a little less shitty, right? So little baby steps, right? But if that's not something that's driving for me right now, like it's going to be tough, because you guys are going to constantly be pushing and stuff, and it's going to be uncomfortable. And so it's either like I go, okay, cool, I that is something that I want, or I realize that that's something that I don't want, and then maybe I align myself with some other people.
But like I have some like overweight, jolly friends.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And they're like part of it, but like I think to your point about identity, like they're the big, happy,
Yeah.
you know, like
And I think that they get nervous that if they lose weight in the back of their mind, that they're not going to be that same person.
yeah.
Which I think, like I said, then you'll find out who your real friends are, because they won't care.
Yeah.
Right.
If you're trying to make a change to better yourself, whether it's to, now if you're just trying to like be an asshole, then they should tell you that. But if you're just like, hey, you know what, like I should probably drop a few lbs because it's not healthy, but I also don't want people to think that,
Yeah.
you know.
I had a really, really intense conversation with someone several months ago who called me like late at night, like in a real shit place. And they pretty much said like, I can't keep living like this. And at first I'm like, what do you mean? Thinking like it was going somewhere dark. But what they eventually went to is like, they feel like they are trying so hard to hold up this persona to meet the expectations of people around them. Like people think like they're the carefree, like, you know, fun friend who can like just go and do stuff, and like they're kind of worry free and stuff. And like they had a lot of stresses. They had a lot of things going on that they didn't feel like they had anyone that they could go to, and they didn't want to be this happy person all the time. Like they were going through some tough shit, and they wanted to like be super sad and mad for a while, but like they didn't feel like they could do this stuff because they had this expectation to meet for other people, which is a big burden to carry. If you're changing who you really want to be to satisfy others, like that's fucking exhausting. You're gonna get burned out, and you just can't do it.
One of my friends came in the store, and I was just sitting there talking to him for a second. I'm like, "You okay, bud?" And he was like, and then he just like unloaded. Like he just needed someone to ask. And I think as a guys, like if you like, we can't all be that person for everybody, but but whoever you're that person for, like especially with men, there's a reason why men have the highest suicide rates, right? It's because we internalize things, we don't talk about things. If you can be that person for somebody though, like you should. Like if you can be that person that someone can vent to, like you like it helps people out. I had a guy come in the other day, and he had something detached in his eye.
Retina.
Maybe. He had to lay down like for 45 to 60 days. He had to be face down. Like this is something.
Oh, that's
that
right.
happens.
Like a cornea then or something. A retina, you can still function, I think.
Yeah. So he had something happen. He had to be 45, 60 days face down. He had just put on like 7 or 8 pounds of muscle over the last year. He was getting pretty, and he saw it all deteriorate.
Yeah.
And like part of me is like, I don't even know if I could do that. I think I would have been like, take the eye.
Did you offer to lay with him?
No. You're so gay.
I was just asking if you're trying to, what kind of customer service you run there. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, he obviously was past that point if he was in the store.
His eye's back. He's good.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
But he's gotten through it. But I was telling him, I was like, dude, you have the mental fortitude that I don't have. Because I would have been like, they would have said like, you're gonna lay down for 45 to 60 days, face down in a dark room. I'd be like, take the fucking eye.
Give me a
Take
patch.
it. I'll just fucking wear a sweet ass eye patch. Like that'll be my identity. But I am not missing the gym, and I am not missing life, and I'm not gonna lay here face fucking down for 45 days. Not fucking happening. Take the eye, and we'll be fine. And I'm dead serious. I don't think there's not a fucking chance.
That would be.
I just told him, I said, dude, I was like, you have mental fortitude that I don't have. And he was like, thank you. I was like, I'm serious. Like I could not have done that.
I was at the dentist yesterday and had to get a little cavity filled. Son of a bitch. But he walks in, he was like, all right. He's like, do you want me to numb it? And I was like, he kind of laughs. He's like, I'm just kidding. He's like, some people, he goes, I do have a few patients that don't want it. I go, I'm not that guy. Let's get her fucking juiced up in here. I don't want to feel a thing. I was like, I'm not that guy.
My dentist, she's like a nice old lady, but she's like, are you okay? It's like, yeah, you numbed the shit out of me. Like, I can't feel my face. Like, you can do fucking anything. Like, I can't do
I wish they could time it a little better though, because then I went to get a drink like out of a bottle of water after, and I just fucking have it like poured out.
Yeah.
But my dentist, he's like really good, super nice, but he like narrates everything he's doing.
Yeah.
Just to tell you,
You're
was
gonna
like
play by play.
Yeah, he's like, all right, I'm gonna do this.
Yeah, that's all right.
But like I was in and out of there in about like 15, 20 minutes.
Oh, nice.
But they can't, I mean, you can't really have a conversation because
I know they ask. They always ask me a question like,
One of those little tap boards where you could just like tap across the.
yeah, I'm
letters.
fucking like I'm Stephen Hawking's over here, just fucking.
Have you seen that comedian who does it all on his phone?
Yeah.
Oh my God, that
He's
guy's fucking
great.
hilarious.
Yeah, I think identity wise, if you want to, you don't have to be trapped in an identity.
No, and I think it's okay to own it. Like it's okay to own your identity, even if it's not. Okay, like I think I see this a lot with comedy, and I like comedy because people just own their identities. You have people with mental disabilities, physical disabilities. That one guy was just saying who can't he can't speak, but like they own it.
Yeah.
And I think being a redhead, you can't control that. Own it. You know what I mean? There are things you can control in your life, and there's things that you can't. I'm never going to be 6'8". I would risk a lot of side effects if there was something that could make me 6'8".
Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of attributes you're dealt in life that you just can't do anything about.
Yeah, own those. Don't focus on those.
Right.
Focus on the things you can change. I think some people get so focused on things they can't change.
Yeah.
But also don't an attribute that don't say, well, my whole family's big, so it's just how it is. That's not an you can change that.
Yeah, that's
and
not
if you don't want to, just
Don't.
own that.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, I have trained plenty of people who are overweight that had no desire to lose weight. They just want to be in better performance shape.
There are people that are in here that are overweight that are phenomenal fucking athletes in whatever they're doing. Like,
Like I had a client of mine. She just wanted to be able to go hiking with her kids.
yeah,
She didn't really like a diet. Her blood work was always good. Her blood pressure was always good. And now we can all be like, well, yeah, but it's going to be hard on her spine and her knees. Now she was strength training, so she was putting on muscle. But then you really think like all of us can say that, but what we weigh is not good for. It's not our body is not designed to weigh what we weigh either. So you can play that game all you want to. So, but also you can't be like, well, I have high blood pressure, but I'm on a pill, so I'm fine. Well, I mean, but you're not really.
yeah.
You know what I mean? I mean, you're getting an instant relief for the blood pressure.
Right. You're
But
treating
you
the
could,
symptom. You're not treating the cause.
yeah, but you could do something. Whereas like she had like great blood work, blood pressure, no problems, internally she was fine. She just was a bigger girl.
I think that some of the like really big guys, I would guess like the strong men, if you're a boxer or combat sports, if you're the best, if you're Michael Jordan or Tiger Woods, like I think those people probably have the strongest, the hardest part with their identity, because like to be a bodybuilder, to be Ronnie Coleman, you have to put your body in really bad situations, and you can only do that for so long before you're done.
Yeah.
So you have a point of being done. If you're Brian Shaw, you're either not living for a very long time because you're that big, or you're going to have to be smaller to live for longer. So your identity has to change.
And I think
Michael Jordan, Michael Jordan still wants to be the fucking man.
Oh.
and I look at Brian, and I don't know Brian Shaw. I don't know.
either.
Ed knows him really well.
Yeah.
Likes him a lot. But I feel like he struggles to let go. Like he's done competing, he said. Mm-hmm. But he's still like most guys you see that say, "Hey, I'm done competing." Like you see like a Jay Cutler, like a Jordan who weighed like 300 pounds at like 5'8" bodybuilding. When they say they're done, they're like down like 70 pounds and like still shredded, right? You know what I mean? But Brian Shaw doesn't seem to be really putting any speculation into losing weight.
Well, and I can tell, like I mentioned him because I can tell from his social media that he's still trying to be the strongest.
Yeah, because he's still doing the shit in his gym. Whereas like when Eddie Hall got out, he leaned down a whole bunch. You know what I mean?
And he changed. Now he'll like his workout, even what he posted changed, and he became more of comedy relief.
Yeah.
And even Thor, he kind of dropped some weight there.
He got freaking little.
But I just feel like
He got
and,
jacked.
and this isn't like I'm not dogging on Brian Shaw at all, because But when you say you're done competing, you have kids. Why don't you try to not weigh 400 pounds?
Because I think it's so hard.
His identity is so much ingrained in it.
His identity is 4-time world's strongest man. Like, he was the strongest man in the world for years, and now he's just not supposed to be. Mm-hmm. You know, like, that's tough.
Yeah.
Like, I am not. I've never been elite at any of that stuff, and I still struggle. Like, I'm still trying to hit a PR now at 45 just because
But you also aren't like 200 pounds overweight.
No. You should. But if it got me a 300-pound strict press, I might be.
Yeah.
Well, it can.
and again, I'm sure Shaw's like a good dude. I'm not trying to. I'm just saying, like, if you're gonna be done, then you have to be done.
I just don't know if he's 100%. Well, fucking Mike Tyson's not done. Mike Tyson's 51. He wants to box again.
Yeah, but
he's not done.
I understand that, but Mike Tyson and like Michael Jordan, those guys, their body is not like severely carrying a lot of weight. Is what I mean by that. Like, some of those professions, if you're done, you got to be.
I
like Kobayashi. But he got out of eating because of his health. He said.
But Mike Tyson's been hitting the head a lot.
Oh yeah, should Mike Tyson? But also, can Mike Tyson get any more retarded than he is?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like, where, like, I mean, you could end up like Muhammad Ali, where he got
CTE.
Yeah, and what did that lead to? Did he have Parkinson's then?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it could always be worse, obviously, but I think...
See, I think Muhammad Ali was actually one of those people who transcended his identity. Because different people think of Muhammad Ali, boxer, yes, but like his stance on politics and just all the other stuff afterwards. He was very charismatic. I think he had a lot of things. I think Brian Shaw, I like Brian. I like him on shows, but he is not the most... He doesn't have the
showmanship,
the brightest personality. You know what I mean?
But
like, he's not Eddie Hall.
But it sounds like his Shaw Classic is doing. So you know what I mean? So maybe after that gets going, maybe he'll identify.
Maybe.
Or maybe he thinks if he gets small that's going to lose its credibility. I don't know. But you kind of got to weigh your... Look, people need to really look at their identities and what it is and weigh out your...
But once again...
Pros and cons.
If you... Like, you sit here at a strong gym, right? Like, if for some reason you lost 70 pounds and you were sitting up the counter, don't you think you would feel like different?
I mean, probably. I just probably talk about back in the day.
But yeah, I mean, there's no reason.
We just have pictures of full-size Brett all over the gym. This is 2024. This is 2023.
But but that's where, like, talking to Edward, he was just like, you just have to know.
I think he's a fucking unicorn with that. I don't think. Yeah. Yes, I don't think people are the greatest of all time in strength and are just okay doing
like, okay, I'm done.
A 225-pound squat.
Well, and it's probably how humble Ed is in his personality and how nice he is, and like I said, I don't know Shaw.
Yeah.
But I don't think he probably has the outgoing personality. Maybe I don't know.
Because
there's got to be something in Ed's personality,
right?
I think he's a unicorn for that.
Yeah,
I just really think
Shaw probably also just like super enjoys training. Like, he really likes that training and stuff.
I think Ed probably had other things going on, and Shaw's thing was just strongman. Like, everything that you know about Brian Shaw, you don't know anything else about Brian Shaw besides strength things. That's it. I don't know anything else about him. Like Eddie Hall was a swimmer, and he has freaking kids, and all kinds of I don't know anything else about Brian Shaw.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I want to talk about it. It's a weird thing. It's a hard thing because everybody has some kind of identity to somebody. Yeah. Somebody looks at somebody. It's like, you can talk about someone in the strength sport, like, oh, that guy's kind of an asshole, and Ed will always be like, well, he's always nice to me, but I'm Eddie Cohn. You know what I mean? Everyone's nice to me.
Yeah.
Even in here, a lot of people I'm like, oh, I don't know, they're nice to me, but I own the gym, so they're just nice to me.
Yeah, I'd say the same thing. I'm the greeter, so they're nice to me.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And then after Tanner walks away, they're like, who in the fuck is that?
Need to wash my hands.
Yeah, that's really nuts. You know what they say? That's really nice that you bring in Down syndrome kids and let them work out, let them work here. And I say, yeah, it's like a volunteer. We just give them a ribbon at the end of the day, and it says, "You proud of me?"
Getting down at OBB. That'll be my Instagram handle.
So, but yeah, I don't know if you guys have any other stuff. I just think identity. It's an interesting topic because it's especially in strength sports and just life in general, but especially in. Yeah. Strength sports or sports in general.
I think it's a cool exercise that I'm getting more and more into, but just thinking about who you are and what you want to be. Like, again, if you had to ask people, even better yet, if someone was going to write your obituary, like what would they put down, right? Like write your own. It's something I haven't done yet, but like in getting closer to like tackling is like write your own obituary, like what you would want it to say, and then write what you think they would say, and then connect the spots.
See, I was going to take it to another level. I've joked about this, that yearly that I'm going to start doing a video obituary for myself. So
Just
if I
write your own every year.
No, I'm going to do it video though.
Oh,
and
I'm roast yourself.
No, I'm going to be very nice. I'm going to be like, I don't trust any of you fuckers. So, I'm taking this in my own hands. Just hit the play button.
Yeah, I think kind of visualizing what you want to be and I think it also helps you get to where you want to be also.
Yeah, because I mean, when you go through some of those activities, like you realize there's things that we want. Like when you raid, like you see Andy Frisella, Ed Milet, Tom Bailio, like some of these guys who are ultra successful, driven and stuff, and there's a part of you that's like, fuck yeah, I want that. And then you realize you're like, no, I don't want that. Like I don't want to put in that work. I don't want to make those sacrifices.
Well, that's kind of like where Andy talks about too. Like, just be honest with yourself. Like, you want to do this,
right?
But you don't. Like, and it's kind of like we've talked about. Like, I want a 6-pack. You don't.
Right. So
you don't want to live that lifestyle.
As you go through that, but then if you go through some of those exercises, that helps you eliminate some of the stuff that might be holding you down from like actually enjoying who you are and like being who you really are. Because you're like, oh, I want to get to this, and like, well, no, like on paper it sounds cool, but I don't want to put the work to get there to make that change.
Yeah, I hope that most people, and I think you're healthier, is if your identity is internal, right? If
like you own it.
You own it, and it's not driven by external things. I think if your identity is I drive a Lambo, I think you have like that's a dangerous identity to have.
Yep.
And I think that's also with some of the famous people or greatest. I think that's a dangerous identity because it's not maintainable. It's not maintainable. Or it can be taken away like that. Like if your identity is I have this giant house, or I always wear a $10,000 watch, or whatever. I think those materialistic things that drive identity can be dangerous if you internalize it. And then, like, I guess the one person that I'm worried about who views me is my wife, right? Like, how does she view me?
Yeah,
like that's what because that's the person who's with me more than anybody else. They know all my bullshit. They know they don't know they know everything. Like that's the person that I think your partner is the person that you should probably worry about what they think about, and not all the external stuff. And you can obviously do stuff for yourself too, like being in shape. But a lot of times that's so you feel good about yourself, so you're better at other things.
Well, and I mean, like you said, how your wife thinks, but I think part of it comes down to just like be a decent person. Like, like Matt was saying, like if you're gonna write your obituary, and that's where like I made those shirts for the gym a few years back. Like I made the legacy shirts. Like you create a legacy, build it, and leave a legacy. Because what do you want? What's your legacy gonna be? What are you gonna be remembered as?
Yeah, like do you want your obituary to say, "Hey, Matt drove a Lambo,"
right?
Or Matt was a guy who, if I needed something, he was there for me at all times, no questions asked. Like what do you want it to be?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I think with the materialistic, and honestly, it's just because we have things we can do materialistic now. There hasn't been something that's been in the history.
Those are like goals. That's not an identity. Like if you want to drive a Lambo, cool. That's a goal. That should be a byproduct.
But hopefully your identity is Matt worked his ass off and put in 100% and became excellent at this, and that's why he has a Lambo.
Yeah.
Not that Matt has a Lambo.
Yep.
Like that. I hope that people view their identity that way.
Yep.
I think you're better off if you do if you're internal and you're not so worried about external things. I think you can see on social media when you have people posting guys or girls, posting like videos where they're just asking for someone to say, "Hey, you look good."
Well, they're just post their wins.
Yeah,
that's how they're posting, and it's.
But you know the people that are just searching for like fishing for compliments. Like that's a
I think 90% of the time, if you just post a selfie, you're looking for a compliment.
Yeah, but that's a dangerous identity because I'm relying on you to hit the like button for me to feel good about.
Well, then that's where you're getting the rush of the endorphin rush of it.
Right.
But yeah, I think overall just be a good person and think about that when you're trying to think what you're going to be remembered by. But also be a real person.
Yeah.
Yeah, like be real. Like there's different levels of effort, commitment, loyalty, like there's all kinds of different levels and stuff. So like you can use other people as inspiration. Like if like you're one of your identities is to like work really hard and bust your ass and like be known as a hard worker, you can use people like Ed Milet, Frisella, Tom, like any number of those people out there as like kind of inspiration to go towards. But if you try to model your life after that to like help build your identity, like then you're gonna
because you're trying to model after
like
the
that's
success
their identity, right?
Yeah.
That's them.
Now, if you're going to model after, like Randy talks about sleeping in their store for 6 months and making no money, are you modeling yourself after that? No, because you want to skip to the good part. You know?
Right, but again, like maybe you don't want to do that, or like that is your work, and you do end up doing that, but you're doing that because it's who you are as a super hard worker and dedicated to like being successful, not because I'm just trying to emulate what he did.
So once again, he's a grinder. He's willing to put the effort in, like that. I just
And you're on Grinder.
No, what's Matt's meat? What was your Grinder account? Meat sandwich.
Matt's meats meat. Meats on the outside.
Meat sandwich. Was that it?
I think so. We'll go with that one. Yeah, I've
Something
got so
like
many
that.
of them. I don't.
You have so many Grinder.
I think if I wrote Matt's obituary, it'd be like from Team America. Matt's the kind of guy that'll get down on his knees and prove his loyalty to the team and suck your cock.
But I'm not a bottom.
But no, I think it's just, identity's kind of turned into like your legacy. Like, what do you want to be remembered as?
and it's who you are, not what.
And that goes to our whole idea of, be who you are, but if you're shitty, try to be better.
Yeah.
Like that's the whole, be a little less shitty every day. Like if you're lazy, do you want to be remembered for being lazy? No. Like try to be fucking better. Like you can always be better. Yeah, that's great if you want to, like he said, you want to be like one of these successful people. But if you want to be like them, you have to be like they were in the beginning also.
Well,
Andy Frisella didn't drive a Lamborghini the day he opened Supplement Superstore.
but like you have you have Steve Jobs, right? How many different ways is Steve Jobs remembered by? Some people he's remembered as a raging asshole. Some people he's remembered as a genius, right? He's probably a raging asshole genius.
Yep.
Okay, like there different people have different views of you. I think it's what you really feel on the inside and what the people closest to you
Yeah.
Yep.
think.
And
about
he's,
you.
whether you care or not. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure Steve Jobs didn't care. People thought he was an asshole because he was like, I couldn't hear you counting my money.
Yeah.
But yeah, so whatever your identity is, really just examine it. Do a little self-examination. And if you need to do something if you're unhealthy, you need to make yourself better, then you need to figure out the people you need around you that you want to be identified as. You are the sum of the 5 people around you.
And it's okay to pivot. It's okay to pivot a little bit. There are times where you just get older and you can't do the same things, but it doesn't mean that you have to completely abandon your identity. You just may have to change it a little bit. Like at some point in time, we're not going to be able to lift as heavy shit as we do. But like Ed said,
Yeah, you've been failing for like weeks straight and you're still going for it. So, I mean,
I got a
If
new
you can
fucking
still
program.
hold, if strength is a pillar of your identity, like you can still.
that's what we
hold
put in
it.
Tanner's obituary.
Changes.
There ain't no quitting that boy.
Ed helped me with the program. We're going to see.
And Ed did behind the neck press 405.
Yep.
Seated.
And he did tell me, because Matt said, "Are you going to max out again?" And I told Ed what I did. He goes, "You're an idiot." He's like, I completely understand it, but you're an idiot. I'm like, good. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my identity.
You guys got anything else on identity? I think we kind of summed it up.
No,
It's kind of an interesting topic because people just don't really think about what they're.
Yeah.
I would just try and internalize it as much as possible and try not to look for external.
Verification.
Yeah.
Or validation. I'm sorry, validation.
Yeah, external validation. Like, try not to need other people to tell you things and try to just know it on the inside. And I know that's hard. That's way easier said than done. And if you are around somebody and you see someone doing something, you're in their 5, right? Like, it's okay to tell them they're good sometimes.
And, and we were talking about the Instagram stuff and people, their wins. It'd be good if people posted the loss right before the win.
I post losses.
Like, hey, I was doing this box jump and here's the first 4 times I fucking crashed and burned. And then it took me this. And not a lot of people do that.
No.
So
I posted my failure.
yeah, if you're driven by someone that's successful, you got to know their history and look back at what they did to get where they're at. Because you're not just going to go from A to Z and skip everything in between.
No, and I don't know.
Like in the words of Ice Cube, life ain't a track meet, it's a marathon. But life's about experiences and you're only here for a short amount of time. So enjoy it, have good people around you, and try to be a little less shitty every day.
Yeah.
Like, subscribe, share, follow,
Download.
download. Thanks for listening, guys.